Food waste composting, while a sustainable practice, can have negative externalities on surrounding communities. These can include strong odors, potential health hazards, and wildlife attraction. The difficulty is maintaining an operation without these drawbacks. This video will explore a few methods to aid an operation in doing so.
So the first step that happens when the trucks come in to bring those feedstocks to me is they weigh them in so I can know about how much, of that feedstock we're taking in per day, per load, so I can be able to charge accordingly, but also know what the incoming weight of the material is. Because again, I don't just take cardboard and paper and grind it up and put it in a row and expect to make a compost. I want to make a very high quality compost. I want my composting process to go successfully and well, so I got to make sure that my recipe is just right. We spend about 8 to 9 hours a week, man hours, sorting the loads out. And so once we sort the loads out, then what I got to do is I got to mix things properly. We're looking at carbon and nitrogen. Carbon are things like paper, cardboard, wood. Nitrogen are things like our food waste, our manures. So I do a 30-to-1 carbon-nitrogen ratio, get it mixed up well, and that's when I put it through that big machine called the Beast. And what that does is that grinds everything up. So once I make these long windrows, I then turn it with the windrow turner, and when I turn it with the windrow turner, I also add a inoculant. It's an odor control, and it's organic, it's not a chemical, and what that does is that allows the microbes to help encapsulate more of the oxygen when I turn the row. Then secondly, I use what's called a biofilter, which is clean wood chips and compost that didn't screen out. I have a big screener that we use to screen at the end of the process. So when I'm looking at temperatures of these rows, I want to make sure they get above 133 degrees. Once they're above 133 degrees, I know that any weed seeds or pathogens are killed. So again, going to deal with odor control management. This is my newest purchase. This is my newest tool in my belt. This is called a perimeter vapor system. So what this does is this is a big air pump that pushes air. As you can see, I have 1,300 linear feet of this special pipe that the air is going through. There's holes drilled in designated points on the pipe, and so the air is going up through the pipe, up into the air, and it's going right into the air. And with the odor solution, when it mixes into the air, it's a vapor. But what it does is as it goes into the air and comes across an odor molecule, what it does is it sticks to it. One of the things to make it render it too heavy to fly, so that odor will drop, odor molecule will drop down, or it changes the compounds of that odor molecule for them to break apart so it doesn't stink, or it completely destroys it.
Compost covers represent a low-cost solution to many composting struggles. These covers are made of a breathable, non-woven fabric that regulates moisture, temperature, and oxygen levels. This regulation aids in speeding up the compost process and raising the quality of the final product.
Anaerobic digesters mitigate nearly all issues associated with food waste recycling while producing many benefits for the farms they are located on. This digester is located in Deerfield, Massachusetts. Trucks entering the facility drop off food waste at the indicated location. The waste is then pre-processed in a hydrolyzer tank in order to remove contaminants. Next, gases from the pre-processing stage are put through an activated carbon filter to reduce any remaining odor. Now the waste is processed within the digester in order to produce its biogas fuel, which is then used in a 16-cylinder engine to produce power. The digester also produces solid and liquid digestates, which are then separated, with the liquid being stored for future use as fertilizer, and the solid having multiple uses including fertilizer and cow bedding.
understand the extents that I've taken personally on this farm to make sure I'm compliant with the DEP, compliant with the local board of health, and also making sure I'm being the best neighbor that I most possibly can be. And one of my heart's thing was like, I want to lead the way. You know, I want to be an example. I want to make that difference. I want to be a blessing to other people, other business, other communities that are dealing with odors, that have been dealing with odors, you know, and being able to say, hey, this system works.